Good evening and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to 6 p.m. Prime with me, Pooja Shali, the show where I bring issues that matter to you as citizens of this country. And today we have the monsoon mayhem and the flood fury that we continued from our previous coverage yesterday. Let's begin first with the headlines. It's a mega face-off erupting after Narendra Modi unveiled national emblem. The TMC says original emblem was graceful and confident, while this unveiling by the Prime Minister was aggressive and unnecessary, calling it shameful even. It's an explosive face-off getting uglier over Minister Smriti Irani getting the charge of Minority Affairs Ministry. Trinamool Congress says a hardcore Hindu made in charge of Muslims and Christians. BJP calls it fake secularism of the TMC. Uddhav Thackeray and his Sena back the NDA presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu. Uddhav Thackeray says his members of parliament requested him to support Murmu. RSS Neta's big attack claims conspiracy to turn the Muslim prayer day of Friday into a stone-pelting day. Slams open beheading calls by Islamist fanatics and terms that un-Islamic.
शुक्रवार आया, मुसलमानों की इबादत का दिन है, पर कुछ षड्यंत्रकारियों ने नौजवानों को उकसाकर पहले से तैयार करवाकर अकस्मात हिंसा नहीं भड़की और उस शुक्रवार को पत्थरवार में बदल दिया है.
Over 100 Jharkhand schools are changing their weekly off to Friday. BJP guns for Hemant Soren. Government calls it Muslim appeasement. An inquiry has been ordered over this decision. Hindu right-wing groups call for a band over Bengaluru's Eidgah Maidan, demanding celebration of Hindu festivals, other events as well, seeking the Maidan to be designated as a playground. So the next half an hour, we are going to focus on how our cities and our states are looking right now. Take a look at one by one. Whether it is the northern part of the country or the south, we have these defining images coming in just after the first rainfall or even 2 days of downpour that's wreaking havoc across the country. Take a look of how Gujarat has been reeling under heavy rainfall. In this drone footage, we can see Navsari has been completely inundated by the rainfall. Death toll in the state is nearly 69 now, just within Gujarat, with 6 deaths in the last 24 hours. In Maharashtra, it's rain mayhem, wreaking havoc, leaving roads and drains severely waterlogged. Life has been brought to a standstill for Mumbai residents. Heavy rainfall in Kerala's districts today. From Idukki to Kasaragod, the southern state has been reeling in this monsoon mayhem. In the southern state of Telangana, red alert has been declared by the Met Department. The state has been on a high alert. You can see, take a look at this. Water levels have increased, reaching waist level for people to even walk on the streets. Schools have been shut for 3 days in Telangana. In the hill state of Uttarakhand's Pithoragarh, you can see children are forced to cross the river to escape from the heavy rainfall. Heavy rainfall wreaking havoc, leading to even roadways that are temporarily shut. Let's come to the national capital, Delhi. Some respite there with the rainfall that's coming in today morning from the heat that resided in the past few weeks. But while residents were happy, there was waterlogging, as always reported, leading to traffic snarls and heavy rainfall. Start of monsoon and our roads are waterlogged across cities, across at least 5 states of this country. Now remember, while we look at these cities across the country, we wait for the monsoon. But what we also have is a poor drainage system. We have encroachments, open potholes, poor planning in our urban cities. With this unplanned development, our otherwise fancy developed cities are getting waterlogged within hours of downpour, leading to massive citizen inconvenience. For example, in Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh, 1 day of rainfall, water is into the ground floors. In Ahmedabad, streets are waterlogged. Cars have got stuck on the streets. Even in Mumbai, Thane, there are potholes filled with rainwater, causing serious danger to passengers and commuters. Now remember, monsoon is a season which is much awaited for relief from rising temperatures of the summer. But as we see, as always every year as an annual feature, soon that monsoon joy turns into nightmare. The focus has to be remembered to shift to basic civic amenities, turn our developed cities into not these dangerous, life-threatening zones just because it rained overnight. And therefore, I asked 2 questions on 6 p.m. Prime. What accountability is ensured to officers responsible for constructing, cleaning, ensuring our cities do not flood? And what action will be taken for those accused of dereliction of duty? Now remember, at this point, Gujarat is the state which is worst affected. Heavy downpour continued in various parts of Gujarat on Tuesday, leaving the death toll at approximately 69 within one state, with 6 fatalities have been reported in 24 hours. A total of 27,896 people were evacuated from flood-affected areas. For example, let me take you through Rajkot, Kutch, Navsari. These are just the few regions in Gujarat where there have been reeling under record-breaking rainfall. Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel visited some of these rain-hit Boreli town in Chota Udaipur district, conducting an aerial inspection of some flood-affected areas. Heavy rainfall disrupted normal life in many parts of Gujarat, while these visits were also on, and an evacuation process continues, especially for residents in the low-lying areas.
This is the Navsari railway station line which runs parallel to us, and in order to be able to get to the other side, we need to use a boat, given the kind of waterlogging and water accumulation that has taken place in most of the low-lying areas. This guy who is taking us to see and get an exact idea about the situation and the ground reality points to a highly grim picture. These certain people who are forced to move around despite such heavy rainfalls have no other choice and have no other option. This very packet and the bag that you see in my hand is also a part of the relief work that is being carried out. In this bag, there is food that is currently being supplied to several other households, which is where we are heading. Only time will tell if the red alert subsides and if the water starts receding in low-lying areas. With cameraman Mangesh Ambre, Dev Kotak for India Today. If you can take an overall look in terms of the kind of flooding that has taken place in low-lying areas and other parts of Navsari and Gujarat, then you will be shocked and amazed to see the resilient spirit of the people also who have to put up with this year after year. Rains cause heavy damage, grounds get flooded, and small villages and hamlets almost get buried underwater, or in worst cases even get swept away. These people you see on the tracks of Navsari railway station are forced to risk their lives and walk through danger because there is no other path apart from the railway tracks. The water you see does not allow them to walk from under the underpass. Whether nature's fury will numb itself down or not, that is only something that time will tell. With cameraman Mangesh Ambre, Dev Kotak for India Today.
कच्छ में आज सुबह से भारी बारिश की वजह से निचले इलाकों में जल भराव की स्थिति पैदा हुई है। हम अभी कच्छ के अंजार में हैं, आप तस्वीरें देख सकते हैं। निचले इलाकों में पानी भर चुका है और लोगों को भारी दिक्कतों का सामना करना पड़ रहा है। लोगों को अपना घर छोड़कर सुरक्षित स्थानों पर जाना पड़ा है, क्योंकि लोगों के घरों में बारिश का जो बाढ़ का पानी है वो घुस चुका है। लगातार कच्छ के विभिन्न इलाकों में इस तरीके से भारी बारिश की वजह से लोगों को काफी दिक्कतों का सामना करना पड़ रहा है। कौशिक कंटेचा, कच्छ।
इस वक्त हम मौजूद है श्यामल 4 रस्ते के सोमेश्वर कॉम्प्लेक्स में, जहां पूरा बेसमेंट पानी में भरा हुआ था और अब आप देख सकते हैं कि पानी यहां से निकला है तो पूरी तरीके से तबाही का जो मंजर है वो यहां पे दिखाई दे रहा है। 180 जितनी यहां पे दुकानें थी, उन दुकानों में सामान भरा हुआ था और वो पूरा करोड़ों रुपए का नुकसान हुआ है। 180 जितनी दुकानें इस कॉम्प्लेक्स के बेसमेंट में थी, ये पूरी तरीके से बर्बाद हो चुकी है। अब प्रशासन के जरिए उम्मीद लगा रहे हैं कि कम से कम अगर आज बारिश होती है तो ज्यादा पानी यहाँ पे न आए, ताकि इनको जो नुकसान हुआ है उसकी भरपाई अब उनके लिए भी सवाल है कि कौन करेगा, क्योंकि ये पूरा तबाही का जो मंजर है वो यहीं पे अहमदाबाद के ऐसे कई इलाके हैं जहाँ पे पानी भर गया था, वहाँ पे दिखाई दे रहा है। कैमरामैन उज्जवल ओझा के साथ गोपी घांगर, अहमदाबाद।
So as you saw, a team of reporters ensuring to get into even dangerous areas to help you get a perspective of what is unfolding on the ground. Dev Kotak is now joining me live from Navsari in Gujarat. Dev, we just had a look at your ground report from the boat where you were traveling into those locations. These are areas where I could see full-fledged houses, pakka houses that are completely inundated. What is the situation right now in Navsari? Is it still flooded? Is it raining? How is the administration conducting rescue relief operations?
The NDRF, to begin with, for now has been put on standby because all the rescue ops have been carried out successfully, and those stuck in low-lying areas and living dangerously have also been moved out. But however, we are in one of the most elite and posh areas of Navsari. This area where I'm standing currently is called Lunsi Kui. It is a highly posh area. Despite that, you can see the amount of water, and if I show you a true sense and the measurement in terms of how much the water comes up to, it is at least till my shin. If it continues to, if you can see, that is, it goes only till the shin. But if it continues to rain incessantly and at this very rate for the next 1 hour also, then the water levels will rise up to my knees easily. So, you know, these are the kind of early indications that we
around
have.
You. Otherwise, Dave, what you're showing us is a whole street, a lane that is flooded. So, are you telling me otherwise this would have been a normal street with houses around? There could have been cars plying on this road right now in that location in Navsari.
Yes, absolutely. For people like this gentleman who does not have a vehicle on him, he is forced to wade through this water. But otherwise, those with vehicles also are not risking it, because this water, when it goes into your engine and it causes heavy damage to the car. So people who are a little more privileged and also a lot protected in that sense, they are also not getting out because of the red alert that has been issued until the 16th of July, which is for the next 3 to 4 days to come. So this water level also is going to take more than 6 hours to recede, and only that is if the rains stop. But the rains have not stopped. They have constantly been on and off and have been pouring since the last 2.5 to 3 days. So you can really imagine the plight and the condition of the people who are extremely frustrated.
And a quick question before Dave, I let you go. There has been a death toll also in Gujarat. Over 69 people dead in one state.
Yes, absolutely. But you know what is more upsetting is the fact that the crumbling of the infrastructure problems, and also that person who is forced to make his way through, you know, he risks his life as well as his vehicle. And
yes,
we see more vehicles coming. But getting back to your previous question, this morning in, you know, near Rangoon Nagar, which also is around the state highway that connects Navsari to Surat, a lady, 70-year-old, a senior citizen, was brought dead. She passed away last night, but because the ambulance was not able to make its way into the lane and wade through this kind of an unprecedented water level problem, that is why they had to wait for the boats to come in the morning. The boats finally safely brought out the senior citizen's dead body along with the other relatives. Only then they were able to, you know, complete the final rites. So you can imagine the sad and pitiable state of affairs, that even after you're dead, you cannot make your way peacefully. So these are the kind of problems people have to deal with.
There have
for
been
the last
instances like Dave is telling us, an old woman, 70-year-old woman had passed away, but even a mortal remains could not be shifted because of the situation right now. Dave, I can see behind you also right now there is still a downpour that's on. You take care of yourself, stay safe. Thank you for getting us that ground report. So what Dev Kotak and my colleagues in Gujarat are telling us about is the situation from one state. From Gujarat, let's go across now to Telangana. There also is a red alert right now. The onset of monsoon is creating mayhem across the country. Maharashtra, Gujarat, Telangana, no respite from heavy rainfall. The Met Department is showing several heavy rains from Kerala, Maharashtra, Telangana, Madhya Pradesh. Uttarakhand Hill State also has suffered. Now in Telangana, the Met Department has issued a red alert in the North District after several low-lying areas are flooded. Telangana has declared 3-day holiday for schools, colleges, and in light of predictions, Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao instructing officials to be on high alert. In their event, a high-level situation also arises. Now remember, this is Telangana. From there we go across to Maharashtra. The state again is on high alert amid the IMD is showing red and orange alert, which means red means warning. Orange also means a high alert in regard to high downpour that is expected. In Madhya Pradesh, the Met Department issued an orange alert for heavy to very heavy rainfall in 33 districts. Officials have been asked to remain under high alert. There is meanwhile in the southern state of Kerala an orange alert.
There's a high tide of approximately 4.47 meter in the Arabian Sea right now, but in spite of the high tide and the rain that has been banging the city since yesterday, in fact, there is an orange alert in the city, but in spite of all these alerts, and people have been asked not to really venture out into the seafront, although there are quite a few of the Mumbaikars still around, but people have been asked in general not to venture around the seafront. Right now, because in spite of the high tide as well as heavy rains, as Mumbai hasn't come to a standstill, which is a very good thing because the central railways are running, the western railway is running. The traffic on the road in Mumbai is slightly slow. There is traffic movement is slow, but in spite of that, because of no heavy waterlogging in any particular area, the traffic is moving towards town where people are heading towards work. With cameraman Sunil Vaidya in Mumbai, Vidya for India Today.
मुंबई का जुहू बीच इलाका जहां पे हम खड़े हैं, लगातार देखिए हाई टाइड हो गई है। हाई टाइड होने से जो समुद्र है वो उफान पे है, समुद्र उफान पे है और ये ऐसी जगह है जहां पर लोग हर रोज आते हैं, अपने परिवार के साथ आते हैं, कुछ वक्त बिताने की कोशिश करते हैं और उनकी सुरक्षा में जो है लाइफ गार्ड को खड़ा कर दिया गया है, क्योंकि 48 घंटों में जिस तरीके से वेदर डिपार्टमेंट द्वारा ये बताया गया है कि बहुत ज्यादा बारिश होगी, तो उसकी तैयारी मुंबई में कर ली गई है। महाराष्ट्र के अलग अलग इलाके हैं जहां पर पहले से ही एनडीआरएफ की टीमें पहुंची हुई हैं, तो अब 48 घंटों में किस तरीके से चीजें होंगी ये बेहद महत्वपूर्ण है। मुंबई में कल रात बहुत बारिश थी, सुबह बारिश थमी थी, फिर 7 से 10 का जो समय था वहां पे लगातार बारिश हुई। बारिश होने की वजह से कहीं ऐसे इलाके थे जो निचले इलाके में माने जाते हैं मुंबई के, वहां पर बारिश हुई। बारिश होने की वजह से जल जमाव की स्थिति जरूर बनी। हालांकि अभी मुंबई के लोगों को थोड़ी सी राहत जरूर मिली है, क्योंकि बारिश थोड़ी देर से थमी हुई है, मगर आने वाले 48 घंटे मुंबई और महाराष्ट्र के लिए बेहद क्रूशल होने वाले हैं। और जिस तरीके से जुहू बीच को मैं एक बार दिखाना चाहूंगा, यहाँ पर रस्सी लगा दी गई है। इस जगह से आगे कोई भी जो लोग हैं वो आगे नहीं आ सकते, सिर्फ लाइफ गार्ड जो है उनको ही यहाँ रहने की अनुमति दी गई है। वहीं कुछ ही देर पहले हाई टाइड हुई है। समुद्र की तस्वीरें दिखा दूं, समुद्र जो है वो उफान पर है। 48 घंटे आने वाले बेहद ही मुश्किल होने वाले हैं। जिस तरीके से मुंबई और महाराष्ट्र में स्थिति बनी हुई है, बेहद ही नाजुक स्थिति है। 48 घंटे में क्या होता है देखना बेहद जरूरी होगा।
मैं फिलहाल मुंबई सूरत हाईवे नंबर 48 पर हूं। बारिश लगातार मूसलाधार हो रही है। मौसम विभाग ने जो अनुमान लगाया है और जो कारण बताया है कि अरबी समुद्र से जो नमी लगातार आ रही है, साथ ही साथ बंगाल की खाड़ी से जो नमी आ रही है, वो एक वजह है कि महाराष्ट्र, गुजरात, मध्य प्रदेश, छत्तीसगढ़ और आसपास के तकरीबन 8 राज्यों में इस तरह से मूसलाधार बारिश हो रही है। ये मूसलाधार बारिश अगले 72 घंटे तक होती रहेगी। कुछ इलाकों में जो अनुमान लगाया गया है कि बारिश तकरीबन 21.5 सेंटीमीटर के ऊपर होगी। पुणे से जो सुबह हम निकले वहां भी बारिश देखने को मिली। लोनावला में बारिश बहुत ज्यादा तेज हुई। मुंबई ठाणे इलाके में भी ऐसी ही मूसलाधार बारिश देखने को मिली। ठाणे के बाद पालघर इलाके में आते आते जो मुख्य चौराहा है वहां का जो नजारा देखने को मिला कि सड़क की हालत बहुत ही खस्ता थी। यहाँ आप देख सकते हैं झमाझम बारिश हो रही है और अगले 72 घंटे ऐसी ही बारिश होगी, ऐसा अनुमान मौसम विभाग ने लगाया हुआ है। पंकज खेलकर, महाराष्ट्र गुजरात हाईवे।
The state highway that connects the Pasara district from the Medaram, the most tribal areas known to be is completely under water now. As you can see, the water is almost 3 to 4 feet on this road, where now people who have to travel this side, like you can see that a car waiting at the other side just to come 50 meters away from there now have to cross more than 22 kilometers, choosing another route to get back to this route. So these several such highways are inundated in water following heavy rains, and the tributaries to Godavari are also which are crossing these kind of small bridges are completely underwater.
So it is clearly water around, whether it's in cities, in rural areas, and this is across states. That report by Abdul Bashir was from Telangana, which is on red alert, and there right now is 3-day holiday also that has been announced. I am joined live now by Abdul Bashir from Telangana. Abdul, we just took a look at that report that you sent. So it's still raining. How is the administration ensuring that people do not face and suffer from any inconvenience? We can see waist down deep water there in different parts of Telangana.
Yeah, absolutely. After the IMD has issued red alert in the parts of several districts of Telangana state, the authorities have been alerted by the Chief Minister. Chief Minister has directed all the officials to stay on ground. From the Sarpanch to the ministers are on ground working to safeguard people from the low-lying areas so that they are not affected due to this floods. However, no official death has been reported as of now, but as you can see that several highways, state highways are underwater. This is one such highway that we have been reporting. This is the Gangaram route that connects to Hyderabad via Bhupalapalli, but now you can see it is completely underwater. So no vehicle can cross. Heavy traffic jam can be seen on both the sides of this road, where people are waiting from hours together so that this water level goes down and they can cross over this bridge. So this is the single route that connects to the Bhupalapalli, Gangapeta areas. Yes. So these is the situation here. Several families in the rural areas, more than 100 families in this Gangaram area had been shifted to the model school nearby, following the impact of the rain, impact of the flow of the tributaries of Godavari in the low-lying area. So this catchment areas nearby villages completely are vacant, and now the people are shifted to the model schools. From the past 2 days, they are at the nearby government schools where basic amenities are being provided
where
by
is
the
the administration? What is K. Chandrasekhar Rao, the Chief Minister, saying there right now in Telangana? Are the administration officials visiting? Why are they not on the ground also to ensure that they're assisting people? Are there visits that are being done to ensure, or are they just sitting in their offices and tracking everything about the ground situation?
Yeah, absolutely. K. Chandrasekhar Rao had conducted a review meeting in the past yesterday for more than 8 to 9 hours, where he had completely monitored the situation, tracking down the situation on ground. Right now at this highway, as you can see, there are two officials from the Sarpanch department who are on the ground. They have parked their tractor here, not allowing any vehicles, any negligence by the locals here to cross this route. They are here avoiding people to cross this route here. So such people, such officials are on ground, as we can see. But however, the other administration that we are talking about, like the irrigation department and the other officials, are to monitor the situation more, because now there is a sigh of relief after the 2 days heavy rain that we have seen in the state of Telangana. Now, however, this area comes under orange alert by the IMD, but there are 3 to 4 districts, that is Mancherial and other districts of Telangana, who are still under red alert, and the authorities are still on ground working. So NDRF and SDRF teams are also on ground.
So it's important that the administration ensures that people know that they are around and can be approached, as Abdul Bashir is also showing us. Abdul Bashir, you also take care of yourself, stay safe, and there is now only hope that the water will recede once the rainfall also ends. Here's now, before I wrap up this segment, what do precisely these states look like right now? Remember, this is across the country where there is monsoon mayhem being reported. Maharashtra and Gujarat are on the top, which are reporting heavy rainfall. Gujarat, of course, as we know, is facing not only death toll but a lot of inconvenience otherwise also to its residents. Hill state of Uttarakhand is reporting heavy rainfall, and it's a mountain region where there are some, remember, dangerous zones as well that are being approached. An orange alert for Uttarakhand. For the southern state of Kerala, there is also again another alert that has gone out, which is orange, which can be about 20 centimeter of rainfall, and the administration needs to be prepared. In Bhopal, in Madhya Pradesh, also just one day of rainfall led to inundation of ground floors of houses. Orange alert for the state of Madhya Pradesh. Telangana has primarily had red alert, which has been brought down to orange, but there are some districts, as our ground reporter is telling us, which are still under red for now. Also, the coastal state of Goa reporting heavy rainfall, and there is an alert that has been issued for the state of Goa as well. Now, apart from this, remember, in times of adversity that we are all facing around us, humanity also gives us hope. While on one side, tragically, more than 60 people dead in flooded Gujarat, more than 180 people dead in Assam of a flood that started in April 6. Amid this destruction, there are people who are saving other lives as well, whether they are local residents, rescue officials or from the armed forces. I now bring you this inspiring report to remind us about the rescue angels who are saving many lives. Take a look. Walloped by the floods. From up in the Himalayan mountains, the plains of Gujarat in the west, to the coastline down south and the swollen streams in the east. Relentless torrents breaching banks and floodwaters lapped into homes. The saviors slid down from the rescue choppers. Several families plugged to safety in Gujarat's worst-hit Valsad. Divers saved 4 children from a river in a spate at Durg in Chhattisgarh.
5 बच्चे नहाने के लिए गए थे और 5 बच्चे नहाते नहाते अचानक से बह गए। 5 में से 4 बच्चों को बाहर निकाल लिया जो सकुशल है, और एक बच्चा तुषार साहू, पिता भागवत साहू 14 वर्ष, वो भी लापता है। गोताखोरों की टीम और प्रशासन की टीम, पुलिस की टीम वहां पर लगी हुई है, कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जल्दी रिकवर कर लें।
Rescue angels from the Indian Air Force and the Army in a frantic search for the missing from Friday's cloudburst at Amarnath.
Main thing which we were concentrating on was planning and coordination of assets and coordination between various agencies like the civil admin with the divisional commander, the camp commanders at various places towards the shrine, the army commanders, BSF as well as the Jammu and Kashmir police.
A young man alerted fellow residents about a man clinging to his tractor toppled by a flash flood, and civilians pulled him out of the roaring waves with whisper-thin ropes. Standing firmly in defiance to the crisis, this is a testament to humanity and valor. Bureau Report, India Today.